Hey, I am Emily, also known as Emily Cleary, which is my full name, and possibly being future known as Soleil, which may be my new artist name, but we'll get to that.
Okay. And
Yeah.
where are you from?
I'm from Yonkers, New York, and I moved to Florida about 11 years ago. I moved to Coral Springs, and now I live in Miami.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what made you move down here?
My parents. I didn't really have a choice. So they were kind of sick of the winter and, shoveling snow and all that, and there was a better opportunity here. So we came to Florida.
Nice.
Yeah.
And do you like it better up there or down here?
You know, when I first came, it was like the last 2 months of 8th grade. So I got pulled out of school and I got plopped in Bramblewood Middle School for a month.
Okay.
And it was a difficult transition at that age. I was 15 years old. And for a long time, I didn't really get used to it, I guess. Florida is much more laid back, much more chill than New York. New York is very bam, bam, bam,
Right.
New York minute.
Right.
Everybody's super motivated. And I'm not from the city, but I spent a lot of time there. And I do enjoy the seasons. And I think at this point, I like them both equally. There's still something I love about New York. It's home. When I go there, I feel home. There's so much diversity. There's so much to do all the time, so much to see.
Right.
I love to people watch. I have my degree in sociology, so it's correlated, I think. But yeah, Miami is really cool. There's a lot of great opportunities here, so I can't really complain about being in paradise.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And you said you might have a new artist name soon.
I might.
Okay. And tell me about that. Where does that name come from?
Okay, so, I always, I guess, struggled with trying to figure out who I wanted to be as an artist, what my sound was, what my name was going to be. So when I first started making tracks, I think I came out with my first single in 2012 or something. And it was on iTunes. And I went by just my name, Emily Cleary, because I couldn't decide who I wanted to be, I guess, as an alter ego. And so I've still been going by that for a long time, until now. And more recently, I got together with this band, The Royals, which is a project we started in January with Timothy Lovelock. He is an international DJ and violinist. And, this project has been in the works for 9 months. And he started calling me Soleil. So my Instagram name, my handle is Soulful Soul because it's SOLEFULSOUL. So the first soul is because I used to be a Jordan collector. Yes, when I lived in New York, I was a Jordan collector. I worked at Finish Line for many years, and so I was super into the sneaker scene.
Right.
Then I fell out of the game, but I still kept the handle because I liked it. And then soul, the last soul, is because I'm a soul singer. And so Tim started calling me Soleil because his wife's name is Emily. So that's how that happened, and I like it. I think it's cool.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
It has some meaning behind it.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Okay. And so, what originally got you into music?
So my father's a bass player, so it's kind of always been around. The first time I sang, I was 5 years old, and I sang Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, only the version a 5-year-old could sing, in my parents' fireplace in Yonkers, and that's when I decided I wanted to sing. And so I got into music from there. I had some vocal lessons. I took piano lessons for 8 years, so I also play piano and read music. And then I moved to Florida, and in high school I was in chorus for 3 years.
Okay.
And then when I went to college, I was in a traditional choir, a gospel choir, and an a cappella group. And then I moved back to South Florida, and I was in a cover band, and I've sort of been in the cover band scene ever since. And, now focusing more on original music. So that's where it started.
Okay. So you're writing your own music now?
Yes.
Okay. And so what steps are you kind of taking now to move into the more professional realm? Just booking more shows, working with a manager, et cetera, et cetera?
When you say professional, do you mean for the original music, or do you mean with cover bands
with the
stuff?
original music?
Okay, with the original music. So I meet every Tuesday with my musicians to get the live music together, because I have all the demo tracks done already for my EP / album. Haven't really decided yet what it's going to be. And by October, we plan to start recording. And then the project should be out by, depending on how long mixing takes and everything like that, November, December. So let's say Florida winter 2017. And yeah, those are the steps that I'm taking right now. I do have a manager in mind. Other than that, I don't really have one. I am with Unfold Records, though. Shout out, Rapper Rich. You know, he books a lot of shows for us. The original music shows. He got us sessions at Sidebar with Oroxy. He got us also a show at Miami Warehouse. We did another show for our friend BB, who's also on the label. It was like a show for her dad. What is this? I don't even know what it's called. The word's escaping me. But it was at the Andrews Living Arts Studio.
Okay.
And so, yeah, he's awesome with that. And, you know, he's a really good accountability partner to have, you know, keep me on track.
All right. And how did they originally discover you, the label?
I met Rich. I don't know how I met Rich. I don't remember. It might have been on Twitter.
Okay.
Social media is really powerful. I don't really tweet much, but it was on Twitter, I think, a few years ago. And then we met up and we did a song together, because he's always been doing music. And yeah, that's how we met.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. And so what inspires some of your music?
A lot of it has been, if I'm in an emotional state, sadness, like heartbreak, that's a lot of it, or just feeling out of place. Like I have one song on the EP that's going to be called Wrong Room, and it's just about feeling like I was hanging out with the wrong people, maybe focused on the wrong things. Like the first few lyrics are, I'm sitting in the wrong room at the right time with the right moves. So yeah, it's just, you know, about finding myself. Anything that inspires me. I love to travel, so whenever I travel, I keep a travel diary.
Oh, okay.
I write down every single thing that I did every day, and I always look back to it for inspiration. But I'm also into poetry. That was, I guess, where my writing began in middle school.
Right.
And oftentimes I'll just come up with something and then just leave it there, and months later just sort of put the pieces together and come up with something new.
Okay. You come back to it.
Yeah.
Okay. And who are some of your main influences when it comes to artists?
Well, I would say that the artists I grew up with definitely are some of the main influences. So I grew up with a lot of Motown, like Diana Ross and the Supremes, Stevie Wonder, Aretha Franklin. I also listened to a lot of Christina Aguilera. She has a great voice. I listened to Jane's Addiction, was listening to Bob Marley and the Wailers, and those were a lot of my inspirations growing up. And then I got into, as I got older, like Alicia Keys. And then as I progressed even further, who are like now my main influences are Amy Winehouse and Erykah Badu. And I love to listen to old jazz musicians like instrumentalists or singers. You know, I love Ella Fitzgerald and Billie Holiday and Sarah Vaughan, all those greats. You know, they bring such emotion to music. It's jazz music, but it's so heartfelt, and you can feel it from the soul. I mean, I can feel it. I can hear their sadness, and that gives me goosebumps. So that's what I like. That's what I like to hear and be inspired by.
Okay, and if you could pick anybody in the industry to do a collaboration with, who would it be?
Dead or alive?
Let's do dead and then an alive.
Dead would be Amy Winehouse, rest in
Okay.
peace. And alive would be Erykah Badu and whoever she works with, because she has very much a certain vibe to her music that I like. You know, things like On and you know, all those tracks, and really cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
And let's say in the next 5 years, where do you want to see yourself?
I want to see myself singing at Glastonbury Festival. I want to see myself at 3 points. I want to see myself, doing these tours all over the world, basically just being a full-time original musician. That's what I'm working towards now. Right now I have a full-time job. I love my job, but I do music nights and weekends, so it is a lot of work. But I think when you're passionate about something, you're dedicated to it, and you stay focused on it, all the work doesn't matter because you love doing it, And I'm young still, so I still have the chance to do that. So in 5 years, I would like to see myself fully transitioned into an artist.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. We're wrapping it up now, so is there any kind of shout outs you want to give to anybody? Special thanks.
Yeah, thanks to my parents for having me. Shout out to you guys. Thank you to Unfold Records and Rapper Rich and Comp for always being there for me and always being so cool. Thanks to Tim and the Royals. You guys are awesome. Really excited and looking forward to what we're about to start doing with the band. And shout out to God and the universe because energy is real.
Okay.
Yeah. And shout out to you guys. Shout out to Sunblazed Records for having me.
Thank you.
Because I would not be sitting here doing this interview if it wasn't for you.
Right.
Yeah,
Thank you.
of course.
Okay, so at the end of the interview, we always ask the artist if they could give us a sample of some of their music. Is there anything that you could sing for us real quick?
Yeah, but some original music?
Anything you want. Your pick.
Sure, yeah. So this one is called Rubbish, and this one is from my debut EP that I'm working on. Okay. Gave him everything I had, told him all about my past, thought he loved me still, made him part of every day, showered him in every way, thought he loved me still, smoke in the air, filling the room, propaganda like the news, thought he loved me still. I wonder, was I so blind I believed my lying eyes? I believed all the rubbish you said to me. You said to me. I believed all the rubbish you said to me. You said to me that you said to me. I believed all the rubbish you said. I believed all the rubbish you said. I believed all that rubbish you said. That bullshit went straight to my head.
Awesome.
Thank you.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
All right. I appreciate you coming.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Bobby. I appreciate it.